Welcome, Generals, to our Rebel campaign in version 1.28.4 of the J&P Mod on Major General difficulty. Before we start, thank you for taking the time to check out any of my materials related to the game. I hope that you will find something to help you to achieve success in your own campaigns. Be aware that Colonel, Brigadier General, and Major General difficulties all share an AI profile. Legendary has its own profile. Therefore, things you see me do should easily translate to lower difficulties but may not work in Legendary or be suboptimal. Just to be clear, my Union campaign has not ended. I'm running the two campaigns in parallel and will get the CSA up to Shiloh before returning to the Union. Now, if you've been following my Union campaign, you know that I play the Union about 80% of the time. In fact, the last time I played the CSA all the way through Washington was a Brigadier General campaign in version 1.27. I won't be playing an Iron Man campaign, as I will replay battles, especially if I could have done better or I screwed something up. There isn't much out there for CSA videos in 1.28, so hopefully I can provide a path to success even though the campaign won't be optimal. I play fine on Major General, but I'm unfamiliar with the battle-specific nuances in the CSA campaign, so it should be fun. The Union campaign is all about getting past Shiloh, and has a bell curve difficulty that ramps up fast and remains high through Fredericksburg, and then slides down the other side of the belt. You must field 2 corps with up to 40 total brigades by Shiloh. It makes players feel that they need to be flawless in battles up to Shiloh so they have an army that can survive the battle. I still want to perform well in the early game of the CSA campaign, but there's no Shiloh wall to hit. The difficulty ramps up throughout the entire campaign. In fact, past Gettysburg, you may find that the intelligence reports after each battle are giving the Union AI way more troops than you can possibly kill in battle. So the AR army size is yellow or red past Chickamauga. Before I start my CSA campaign, let me address some of what's new in version 1.28.4. The difference between 3 and 4 is minor enough that you don't need to start a new campaign unless you want to try out the new Major General Light difficulty. I'll show you how to get that when I run through the campaign setup. Panda Kraut says that MG Light is similar to Major General in previous versions of the mod. Some of the other revisions include the AI default weapons quality from Legendary has been applied to all difficulty levels, so expect the AI to start using better weapons earlier in the campaign. CSA deployment locations for the player and AI have been adjusted in several battles. 3 in AO now gives you 12 brigades and 4 gives you 15. The configuration files have all been organized and updated to better explain what each value does. If you are a masochist or you feel that the game just doesn't give you enough challenge, there's also an AI perk optimization in the AI configuration file. This setting will give a percentage of AI units perks that align with the weapon that have been assigned. So high melee damage weapons will give the unit charge perks, then low melee damage weapons will give the unit accuracy perks. The default is 0%, so it's off unless you change it. Plus, there's been a bunch of bug fixes. Alright, let's get this campaign underway. I will be taking Tactician, Cavalry, and Politics. Now, when you click on Major General difficulty, you get a pop-up that asks if you would like Major General Light. Essentially, Major General Light will set AI scaling, experience, and weapons quality to 82.5% of Major General. I'm sticking with the full calorie version, so I'll say no. One of the things that I like about the CSA start is that you have a bit more flexibility in your starting career perks, because after Potomac Fort, I can go to Newport News with just 1 in AO. That means I can put the 2 career points from Potomac Fort anywhere I want. That flexibility allows me to target certain breakpoints. For example, we know that Politics gives us more money, recruits, and bumps up rep point buys. Another bonus is that 3 in Politics will give an extra reputation point when we win grand battles, and 5 will give an extra rep point in side battles. Therefore, I expect to use both points from Potomac Fort on Politics since I will rely on rep point buys for most of my infantry weapons early on. The Mississippi and the Mendenhall, Jones, and Gardner rifles, or MJ&Gs, are just too good to pass up early on. Starting with 4 in recon gets me out of the penalty, so my weapons recovery is 100%. What does that mean? Well, before 1.28, weapons recovery didn't scale with recon points. 4 points in recon equal the version 1.27 recovery percentages. 10 points in recon will double those recovery rates, and anything less than 4 is less than 100%, so it is in the penalty. Logistics works similarly for the shop stock multiplier, but has different rates for small arms versus artillery. 100% for small arms requires 2 points and 6 points for artillery. I normally take 2 in logistics to start a campaign, but since I will be building my CSA army differently than my Union campaign, 1 will be fine to start with, and I'll bump it up to 2 or 3 later. Points in economy, training, and medicine are always nice, but not a priority for me to start. I will prioritize training and medicine once I finish Shiloh. Normally, I recommend players start with logistician, cavalry, and politics. The only difference between taking logistician rather than tactician is that recon would be at 3 and logistics would be at 2. I want recon to be at 4 for Bull Run. Since my 2 points from Potomac Fort will go into politics, and my 1 from Newport News must go into AO, this is my path for having 4 in recon for Bull Run and getting 5 in politics before Newport News for the extra rep point. The plan is to use my skirmishers to engage the Union skirmishers and have my cav clean them up while my infantry move up to intercept the Union infantry. The 2 Union infantry detached skirmishers that come through a little later, and I'll let my reinforcements deal with them. I also want to keep an eye out for the infantry that's in the fort to see if it comes down to engage or not. If so, Hexamer and my cav will handle them. For whatever reason, Hexamer does not deploy to Phase 2, so if you need a unit to get a little beat up, he isn't a bad choice in the first phase. My guys all have the default starting perks, so Kemper and Siegfried both have accuracy perks, and Cabell will have the shot shell perk. I don't care for single shot weapons in my melee cav. I like to have the 6-shooter pistols. Crocker has Colts, so I want to get him into flanking position and see how many rounds he can fire before charging. I could have fired more there, but I wanted to charge before the skirmishers could fire back. I'll have my detached keep putting the pressure on and move my cav near the lookout position to take a peek. Hexamer just needs to keep the other unit busy for a while. Your infantry move faster when in a column, so if you see me click far ahead of where they're going, it is to try to keep them in a column longer rather than switching to the rank and file. Looks like the infantry is still up there for now. I will move my cav to flank from the rear. They're close enough to route that I can go for melee. I want my infantry in place to fire from cover with the AI in the open. These guys are done and I have a charge. My reinforcements are here, so I will detach skirmishers and send them to find the AI detached. Everyone else can move to join in the fight. If you are trying to min-max casualties here, I'd probably have Hexamer with my infantry to start the engagement and absorb damage, while Siegfried and Kemper fired on the AI units for the kills. Once the detached are pushed out of cover, I'll have my cav run down both of them. Crocker must reload, so I will charge and be done with them. He'll have time to reload after. That's one thing that you have to pay attention to, so your melee cav isn't reloading within point-blank firing range of an enemy. I try to pull them out of danger when they need to fully reload. These first AI units could be much bigger since they are all gravy training XP and weapons, and we have a ton of time. I'll have Crocker clean up both units. Now I put the game on fast forward, I reattach and then detach my skirmishers. I let everyone recover condition and morale and fill up on ammo. Once everyone is good, I'll get into position to assault the fort. Now, the smart way to do this is to allow the Allied skirmishers to get within range to absorb the fire while everyone else is coming in behind them. I don't always remember to do that. I want my cav on the right side and Hexamer on the left, with the Allied infantry and their skirmishers coming in from the south. If I time it right, my cav can charge from the right to the left and take both artillery without being shot. Hexamer would be the one that charges the infantry when the time is right. Well, the AI decided to switch targets and blast my cav. That will make them a little bit less durable for the next phase. I guess Hexamer won't need to be in the melee. Now I speed the game up again and wait for the phase change. Kemper's skirmishers will move to the northwest of the fort, while Birney and Siegfried's move to the southwest. Birney's infantry will be moving south to link up with my 2 reinforcement infantry, and then the 3 of them will flank the Union from the south. I'm sure that Panderkraut did something to prevent the artillery from taking so much damage here, because Cabell usually just takes 2 or 3 casualties and then it stops. I'll send my cav to take out the Union commander and steal the supply wagon. I always bring Cabell down just to give him a bit more range since he's in that back artillery placement, but I don't really know if it changes much. That infantry wants to get the supply wagon back, and so if he wants to wander down here alone, I'll see if Bernie and my cav can take him out. He's headed back the other way now. But I'll see if Bernie can get his attention. going to try to take his rear artillery and isolated infantry unit first, then surround the attacking units at the fort. Well, I guess he's going to make life easy and come to me. One infantry shattered and 2 more are routing, so he has 2 healthy infantry units left. I'll send Allen after the artillery and start to flank with the rest. He has another one charging and burning up condition, which I don't mind at all. Siegfried and Kemper both get melee kills in this battle. I'm hesitant to charge the artillery with my cav because that one healthy infantry is sitting there, and I don't want him to get flanked. This should be interesting. Full health and probably full condition on that unit. I'll charge with both Allen and Crocker. His full condition coming in is helping him hold on. Now he's shattered. The rest of the AI units should be much less than 100%. All right, I had 66 killed, 260 wounded, and 39 missing out of my crew. 943 total losses with everyone. We captured 2,360 and killed 4,618 total AI troops. I could have managed it better for Siegfried and Kemper to have fewer casualties, but they did well with the kills. Cabell did okay. Thank you so much for spending some of your valuable time watching today. I hope you found something useful to use in your own campaigns, and I wish you much success, Generals.